Welcome to the Inside Silverstone podcast, a business-focused podcast covering all things tech, engineering and innovation. Hosted by me, Chris Broome, a huge tech, motorsport and gaming fan, and also the owner of Longhurst, a firm of lifestyle financial planners and independent financial advisors located in Silverstone, Northamptonshire. This is a series of unscripted and unpolished conversations with leading business owners, thought leaders and high-tech talent where we discuss their experiences within the Silverstone business and motorsport region. We will also be asking them to share their knowledge, insight and their thoughts on the future just for you. If you're looking to learn more about the Silverstone high growth region and commercially connect with like-minded peers, you've definitely come to the right place. Welcome to Inside Silverstone. Welcome to the next edition of Inside Silverstone. My name is Chris Broome and I am your host. Today I am delighted to welcome to the show a new friend of Inside Silverstone, a lady called Hannah Brady from the Brady Creative. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Hi, Chris. I love that. My new friend.
My new friend. Well, you know, this series, which was supposed to be a 10-part series, and now it's, I think, 35 interviews coming into, is called #COVID Catch Up, and it was originally designed just to catch up with some of our previous guests from the previous 60 episodes. And then it sort of just tumbled into literally, let's just interview loads of people because I think that everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's got a business to talk about. Everyone's got some narrative to share about COVID and feelings and experience. And so here we are. And the reason we know each other is that I sort of saw you, or we connected on LinkedIn, where you've got an awesome profile. And I love LinkedIn. I love creating content. And you're also equally cool and great at creating content. And so I thought, let's get Hannah on to have a gas bag to potentially freestyle a little bit and talk about the good things you're doing and a bunch of other topics. So what I'd love to start off with, Hannah, so our great, wonderful listeners and indeed YouTube watchers now can know is a little bit about you and your background. So, you know, what is the Brady Creative? Its sort of background and also your personal background.
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with my background and then I can sort of segue into the business. So I turned 30 this year. My own birthday. I am officially an adult. So I've spent the last 7-8 years working in-house as a marketing professional for businesses predominantly within the SME world. So my background in terms of market sector, most of those businesses have been commercial office interiors businesses or commercial furniture businesses and resellers of that market. So people that sell office furniture, do refurbs and things like that. So workspace has been a huge part of my career and a big passion of mine for the last 7 or 8 years. Prior to that, the boring stuff, I've got a degree in marketing and advertising. It's safe to say the degree I got after that, the degree of life and the degree of just kind of getting a job and getting stuck in is actually where I learned how to do what I do. I can honestly say my degree taught me things, but it didn't teach me how to do what I do today. So that's my sort of educational career background. I'm from Coventry originally, or Warwickshire as I like to say, depending on who I'm talking to. But yes, I'm from Coventry, and I've always been someone that's I've always had lists of like things I wanted to do. So when I was like 10, I wrote a list of things I wanted to do by the time I was 20. And when I was 20, I wrote a list of things I wanted to do by the time I was 30. So I've always been someone that's looked quite far ahead. And running a business, so the list I set when I was 20, one of the things was to be a director either of a business, within a business, or of my own business. Cool. So just got there by the skin of my teeth. But it's been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And about 18 months ago, my mum got made redundant, and she's got a background in graphic design, illustration and art direction. And she's ended up sort of having a huge career in the corporate world of agriculture. And she got made redundant. And we started having conversations about, you know, we were both inclined to work for ourselves, my mum's skill set really fills the gaps in mine, and my skill set really fills the gaps in hers. And we were sort of like, have we got an idea here? Do we do it? Do we not? We were very protective of our relationship initially. So there were lots of conversations going on. And then I'd say probably 12 months ago now, we were like, right, we're gonna do it. Let's just do it. You know, my mum's in her 50s. I was coming up for 30, and we were just like, let's do it. So 10 days before lockdown, I left my secure job.
Okay.
Like an absolute crazy person. I left my job, and I don't watch mainstream news even prior to COVID. I'm not a fan of how people report these days. I just don't. I find it really awful. So I don't watch the news, and I'd sort of not anticipated how colossal COVID was going to be. And then when we got put into lockdown, I was sort of like a week into being jobless. And I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And I had a week of pure panic.
Sure.
And I was like, I'm going to be homeless. This is going to be terrible. I'm going to be on one of those documentaries, you know, from good to homeless. Like what? My brain just went a bit crazy. But we did it, and we've gone forward with it. So basically, the Brady Creative is a marketing agency, and we focus predominantly on two areas. So marketing strategy, which very heavily includes social media for a lot of people at the moment, which we'll come on to later. But marketing strategy and brand development and branding. So the graphic side, the visual side of what your brand actually looks and feels like. But we're really, really strategic with what we do. I won't work with people who don't want to work to a strategy, basically. So it's like, take it or leave it, folks.
And so you're in business with mum.
Yeah.
And so you're 6 months in plus. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good. You know, it's good. I'd be lying if I said we've had no difficult patches in terms of adapting to working together as a mother and daughter. We're very close,
of course,
but we're actually quite different, and our experiences as professional women have been really different. We've had a lot of really good experiences. We've also had a lot of really bad experiences, and we've both sort of come out of our corporate careers and our careers as employees with different chips on our shoulders. Like we've got different things that we both struggle with. And we've actually been working with a business coach, a lady called Lucienne Shakir. And we have sessions together where she basically is not the mediator, because we don't argue, but you have to have someone to mediate from your relationship, because it is a personal relationship. But we've not killed each other. We're still alive, we're still laughing, and we're actually learning quite a lot about one another.
Of course.
You wouldn't think there'd be anything to learn between a mother and daughter, but
you're now in business together, so it's a different dynamic, right? Different pressures, different stresses.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially during COVID, and especially during the first few months where it was lots of levels of uncertainty. But a lot of the best businesses will be born and bred out of COVID as a result of either people being made redundant and launching, or in your case, just launching well ahead of time, but then obviously entering COVID. So, it'll make or break people, and also relationships. So it's good to hear. So let's talk about some of the things you're actually doing. So we've said social media and brand. So let's talk about brand, because I love brand, and I love visual brands, and I love whether that's an individual where their business is them and it's all about their brand, or a company's brand, and certainly the narrative behind the business and their story. So talk to us about how important that is, and how you help people sort of along that path of creating said brand.
Yeah, I love this area of like the marketing and creative world as well, although I'm not the graphic designer in the business. So my approach to branding is the strategy behind why you present your brand a certain way. For me, I just love the process that you take a business through. We've got a lot of people coming towards us at the moment who are actually, they've got a brand.
Yeah.
They've started to really, in a really solid way, realize that it's not where they want it to be, but they don't know how to get it to where they want to be. So for me, I think when it comes to branding, whether you're looking at starting a new brand or evaluating a current brand, you need to go like right back to basics and start with, who are you targeting? Like, because it's not about, you've got to like what your brand looks like, but it's actually not about you. And a lot of people come to the table when they're looking at their branding, and it's all about kind of what they like and what appeals to them.
Yeah.
But more often than not, they are not their demographic. So it's like, well, we're not making this brand for you. I'm really sorry, and that's probably going to sound really direct, but you're not purchasing it, you're running it. So we do a lot around who people's target audiences are, and we really we almost ask stupid questions, and you sort of see people's faces sometimes when I'm like, so are they typically men or women? Like, how old do you think they are? And what hobbies do you think they've got? And you can see people going, why do I need to know about the hobbies of my target audience? And I'm like, because. So we take them through like a really big workshop process where we really sort of dig deep into the business. And then for us, it's all about creating something that really reflects who that business is, with character, with quality, and something that's exciting for them and that's going to make them stand out. But I think people sometimes think of a brand as your logo. In fact, I know people think of your brand as your logo and your color palette and your font.
Yeah,
it goes much further than that. I talk a lot about business touch points, because it's a real bugbear of mine. Like, a big part of your branding is every touch point in your business: how people answer the phone, how people greet people at the door, do they get offered a coffee when they walk in, or a tea? Like, we really get under the skin and talk about all of those things with people, because if it's not 360, the cracks are going to appear, and you're going to start to notice that in your customer experiences.
Very good. And so mum's role in this is then to once you've done the strategy behind it, and put some sort of foundation bricks in place, mum then gets busy literally creating and designing it.
Yeah, it's quite funny actually. Mum, through the course of her career, she's spoken at different events and has been asked things like, why do you do what you do? And all those sort of like big, deep questions. And mum's response to that kind of question is always, because I literally see things in pictures. And she genuinely does. Like, if you could not take the creativity out of her if you tried. Everything she touches is creative, from like what she does to how the house looks to how she decorates for Christmas. Like, everything is creative. So when we have meetings with clients or we're in workshops with clients, I can see her sort of, it looks like she's just writing notes. And at the end of a meeting, she'll show me her notepad and it'll have loads of like doodles in it. And she's just starting already. She can't stop herself.
Nice.
So yeah, when she gets unleashed, it's it's amazing for me to see. I watch in awe, because I can't create a brand from zero. I can't look at a white piece of paper and create something. That's not a skill I have. So to watch someone do it and then see it being presented as part of my business that I'm building with that person is just, I love it. Like, I'm like the client.
That sounds great.
God. Yeah, it's great.
We may come and talk to you. So Longhurst I launched 28 months ago, and basically the brand, everything you see with my business, everything, it's come from my head, and I've had a design team put it together and whatnot. But we'll be going through a rebrand exercise probably in the next 12 monts, definitely. And to create, ironically, our own logo, because at the moment it's a combination of Shutterstock and other things that we've sort of put fudge together as a quick launch 27 months ago. But actually, it's all worked pretty well. But yeah, so I quite like the idea of a mum and dad sort of mum and daughter tag team, where you know, conceptually putting the strategy together and then mum's doodling away and coming up with ideas. That sounds very good.
It's good fun as well. Like, we have fun with it. It's not like all, when you hear the word strategy, people are like, oh God, how boring. It's not. Like, it's really not when you do it with us. It's not.
No, I can imagine it being exciting, and then seeing it come to light, and then seeing it being delivered, and then seeing you getting results, right, and then attracting the right type of client demographic in and everything else. So Yeah, definitely. I see huge value in that. Let's talk about social media. So social media, certainly during 2020, has, like anything online, is just getting smashed at the moment because people can't get out. And certainly from a business perspective, and a good old fashioned bacon sandwich at 7 o'clock in the morning at a networking event, that can't happen at the moment. So social media is a good vehicle for that. So talk to us about the importance of businesses engaging with social media. And let's talk about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is obviously adding different layers to it, including the story mode, which came in I think last week. You were one of the first on it. I've been using it as well for Longhurst. So let's talk about social media and LinkedIn. Over to you.
Over to me. Okay. This is probably gonna surprise a few people. I have a really interesting relationship with social media. I have a real love-hate relationship with it.
Same.
And I am a social media professional to an extent. It's part of the services that we offer. I love LinkedIn, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But generally, as a medium for your content, social media has a lot of positive things to offer. It's low cost, other than time, if you're using it organically and you're organized. It can be hugely effective for consumer brands because, like you said, at the moment, the usage of social media has been through the roof and will be again over the next 4
a year.
Let's see how we get on.
Yeah.
But for me, the platform at the moment that is absolutely in its prime is LinkedIn.
Sure, agreed.
Particularly when you're talking about the B2B world. So I mentioned consumer brands can have some really powerful campaigns on social media. We don't work too heavily with consumer brands at the moment. We're very much business to business.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn is the only platform at the moment, I would say, where you can still get really good reach from organic content.
Yes.
Without having to be an absolute pro.
Agreed.
You can do it.
Yeah.
And we're all sort of, those of us that are in the sort of local Northamptonshire business community, there's a lot of people that are really, avid users of LinkedIn. And, none of us are LinkedIn specialists. I'm not a LinkedIn specialist. I'm a social media content creator and content specialist. But LinkedIn, I just think it's got a balance between a professional platform that's now starting to see more characters appear and more, dare I say it, influencers.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of change going on with LinkedIn at the moment. So you've got the stories feature.
What's that? For people that aren't aware, what is that and why should they consider using it?
So it's basically for anyone who uses Instagram personally and Facebook, it's the same, very, very similar to the stories feature on Instagram and Facebook. So you can upload 20-second long videos in snippets. It's really good for sort of on the fly, day in the life type content and being able to give your audience an insight into what you do. The danger with it, stories are extremely addictive as a feature on social media. Like Instagram stories are like the black hole of doom for me. Like I get on them and then I blink and I've wasted like 45 minutes of my life looking at people's lives that I don't know. You do have to be careful with it as a feature because if you don't know what you're doing, it can become quite time consuming. A couple of tips that I've implemented, if it's of any help to anyone, is I limit myself to 20 minutes a day on it. So that's either watching other people's stories or actually creating stories to post. I record my stories. I tend to do them at once and I just do a big long video and then I cut it up and add the subtitles that way. And then it just goes up and I don't have to think about it. So I've got into obviously I'm used to scheduling social media content. So I've got a few little efficiencies that will help me out. But if there's anyone that's trying to use it and is finding it's taking up loads of time, limit yourself to 20 minutes, sort of pre-plan what you're going to say and if you can record a longer video and split it up, and I can share some apps with you, Chris, that you can share with.
Yeah, so we've got show notes. So if you'll give me any sort of links to, clearly obviously your website and anything else, and we will make sure they're in the show notes. Talk to me about the importance of, if you run a business, and this is one of my bugbears when I look at other people, like you own a business, the importance of creating a company profile and then sticking a logo on it and actually writing narrative behind and your brand, and the story behind your company on that page. Why should people do that? And
I'm interested to see why this is a bugbear of yours. But I would see your business page on LinkedIn as like a pre-website website.
Yes.
Because yes, people use the internet to look for your sites and search for you, but increasingly people are looking for people on LinkedIn, and people are using Sales Navigator. They're searching for people that they want to target or that they want to work with. So they'll look at the profiles of people. Profiles will always be kings and queens. And then they'll look at the business page. Then they'll go to your website. Most likely, that's the sort of general order of most people searching. What's the word? Habits on LinkedIn.
Yeah. It's a bugbear. Bugbear is probably a strong phrase to use. I just think from a professionalism perspective, if someone's pitching to me or someone wants to connect with me or whatever, it's like, actually you've got a company, you own a business, and there's nothing on there. And so and it's, especially if they're involved in content or creative or whatever, I'm thinking you're missing a trick. What about your opinion on profile pictures of people in their wedding suits or with their families?
How do I work? I don't need to be careful, actually. I'm just going to say what I think.
You can swear. You can swear.
No effing wedding photos is all I would say. Families, I can... No family photos. Like I can't even bring myself to.
That's for me. That's for Facebook. That's for your social media. That's for your private social media. For me, I think I get it, but I'm the same.
I would never. So our clients that we work with, they will all have professional photos. If they don't have any, we will work with them to make sure they get some. And they don't. When you say like professional photography, they don't need to be stuffy. Like they can be really nice. But I think going back to what we said earlier, it's a huge touch point for you and your business, your personal brand and your business's brand. So if you go on to it, say if our LinkedIn page, you went on there and there was no logo, no header image, no nothing, our credibility's gone straight away. It's like they can't even create a LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, I think everyone listening to this, if you haven't already, connect with Hannah and have a look at Hannah's profile is fantastic. It's a really good cover photo with basically your narrative. We are the Brady Creative, so very, very good example of what to do. Right, next question. Which one should I ask? Next Gen Chamber. So this is such an easy, silly question, but what is the Next Gen Chamber and what's your role in it and why is it important?
Well, yeah. So Next Gen is it's a networking community technically. It was created by Northamptonshire Chamber of Commerce. It actually runs across Northamptonshire and Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
Created, I think, a couple of years ago now, maybe just over a couple of years ago. And it's basically aimed at 18 to 35-year-olds, a bit like an 18 to 30s holiday.
I'm too old for that. That's unfair.
I'm creeping ever closer to
You've got a few years left.
Yeah, I've got a bit of time left. But it's basically more centered around professional development than sort of your old school networking. So there's not as much passing of business really, because the people that are members aren't necessarily in the right roles for that. They're there to develop themselves professionally and personally and learn how to network.
Yeah.
So the idea behind it when it was originally launched was that it's a community and a space for the younger business generation to sort of become comfortable with networking and really learn how to do it and feel comfortable doing it, so that then when they're running their own businesses or when they're more senior in their roles and they're potentially networking at chamber events, they're really comfortable, they know what they're doing and they'll sort of own the room, so to speak. And and I joined about 18 months ago, and true to my nature, I'm a bit of a all or nothing kind of person. I don't like to be part of a community and not like really part of it.
Yeah.
I joined the committee after about 5 months of being a member, and then Gary Higson, who was the previous vice president, stepped down from his role. A few of us applied for the role, and I got the vice presidency role. So
cool.
Yeah, it's been cool. So basically, I'm just like an advocate of it, a face of it, someone that, you know, aspiring members can come and talk to if they're not really sure what it is, and basically just supposed to shout about it and tell.
So you'll become, so in the week that the US elections are happening, which is when this interview is being recorded. So there's a chance at some point next year or beyond you may become president.
Could have a lady president.
Could have a lady president. Rock and roll.
You know,
rock and roll. And so
that'd be awesome, actually, because the new chairman, is that the right word? The chairman of Milton Keynes Chamber of Commerce is now Jackie Wilkins. So there's a female chairman of Milton Keynes, and the current operating CEO of Northamptonshire Chamber of Commerce is a lady as well. So
good.
Yeah.
Good. About time, honestly. Just diversity and gender balance and everything else. It's a no-brainer. So let's say I'm a young professional. Let's say I'm a young financial planner. I'm under 35. Oh, those were the days. And I'm employed. So does my employer have to join the chamber for me to then join the Next Gen Chamber as an individual? Do you know?
I don't believe your business, because I joined when I was at my previous employer and they were not chamber members at the time. So
cool. Okay. So folk listening to this, they're under 35 that are involved in any type of career space. It doesn't have to be a professional or content wise. It could be any type of career, can join the Next Gen Chamber. It's just a great opportunity to meet like-minded people of a similar age, to talk, share ideas, best practice, and presumably create friendships that should last decades throughout their career.
Yeah, it's to give you a bit of an idea of some of the content. So the monthly events vary between networking events and then professional development sessions. So the professional development things have covered things like ethics in business, management, financial management. So that's more on like the personal side.
Sure.
Career, like we had one a few weeks ago that was all around sort of your career post COVID and how to focus on what you want in these like turbulent times. So it's all very topical at the moment.
Good.
And based around helping young business people sort of cope in current times.
Good. We've mentioned COVID so a few times. Let's talk about COVID. So, you opened a business at the beginning of COVID. What are you personally looking forward to doing the most sort of in a life beyond? So let's say it's 2021 and we've all had our vaccinations if we've been allowed them. And the new normal exists, whatever the bloody hell that looks like.
Yeah.
What are you personally looking forward to doing the most, bar moving in with your fella and moving in with a boy?
Yeah, a boy. Just hugging people.
Hugging people.
The amount of times I've said to people, sort of during the height of the first lockdown, I'm a real hugger. Like I'm not hi, I'm Hannah Brady, nice to meet you. Are you a hugger? It's got me it's not got me into trouble, but there's been a few awkward moments because
I'm sure.
I am a hugger if people are willing.
Yeah.
And I said to
you should have that on a t-shirt or a business card. I am a hugger if you're willing.
Yeah, I might do that. That's a good idea. But I said to a few people that I've been networking with over the course of lockdown, like, please don't be alarmed if I just spontaneously go to hug you when we're out of all of this, because I'm going to be so desperate to just give people a hug. And I'm a real, like, people person. I'm personally really missing networking in groups and just being in large groups of people. So for me, it's going to be the sort of more normal social contact that I'm really
it's the same for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Even the introverts in the world are just like actually getting some contact and interaction. About bloody time. Right, last question, Hannah Brady from the Brady Creative. This question I have spent decades, literally, because I am that old, decades building and writing this question. I've traveled the world. I've spoken to great gurus and spent time with the the Buddhas of the world, and and this is the question, Hannah. So are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm going to do a little drum roll. What is the king, or more importantly, for gender balance, the queen of crisps?
Okay, crisps.
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 First of all, are you a crisp lady?
Oh my! Don't even go there.
Oh my days, you are. Okay.
They are my kryptonite. Give me rather than 3 meals, 3 big bags of crisps.
Nice.
I'd probably be really happy.
Nice. But what make and what flavour?
Oh, that's.
We need both.
Make and flavour.
Yep. Other crisps are available, but
okay. I'm gonna go. I feel like I'm going to be really heavily judged, but I'm just going to go for it. Authenticity, people. Authenticity.
Yes, indeed.
Walker's.
Okay.
Bear with me. Walker's prawn cocktail.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. What a great answer. They are so good, aren't they?
So good. It's like they just dip them in the cocktail stuff.
Oh
and
my
then
God,
they're so flavoursome.
It's like an explosion going off in your mouth, right?
The best prawn cocktail Walker's crisps are the ones that make you, in you have a reaction in your cheek. I don't know how to explain it, but they're like, oh.
You know what? So my good lady Louise, her mother basically eats Walker's crisps, multi-bags, and she keeps the prawn cocktail ones for me. And when Louise sees her mother, I get literally a carrier bag full of prawn cocktail.
What a legend. That is a mother-in-law.
That's literally marriage material and everything all over that, right?
What a woman.
What a woman.
Hey, what a woman.
Honestly, yeah, my double chin's telling me I should stop eating them. Right, anyway.
I can't have multi-packs in the house because
they won't last.
Big enough. The little packets are just not big enough.
But I swear they're getting smaller as well, right?
Yeah, everything's getting smaller.
I think as we get older, right?
Yeah.
Hannah, I'm gonna wrap the show up. Thank you so much for coming on. For everyone listening to this, I'm gonna make sure there's loads of links in the show notes for Hannah's website and a variety of other things. So if you want to get in contact with her to talk about your brand, your social media, the Next Gen Chamber, or just to have a good gas bag and eventually a hug, she is definitely the lady to talk to. So Hannah, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much. I'm waving.
That's okay. I'm going to wave. We'll pull it to a close. Cheers. The Inside Silverstone podcast is produced by the team at Longhurst for the benefit of those with a passion for all things tech, engineering and innovation. For more information, please visit longhurst.co.uk/Inside Silverstone, whilst also remembering to give us a 5 out of 5 star rating on iTunes. Please note that neither Chris Broome or Longhurst work for Silverstone Park, Silverstone Circuit or Silverstone Technology Cluster.